properties in mathematics, okay? When we talk about numbers, there's properties going on each set of equations or terms. The first property is the commutative property. What does it mean to commute? To commute? Commute means to go from one place to another, walking or in a car or in a plane. That's a commute. Okay? So, whenever they give you the term A plus B, that's the same thing as B plus A. And you say, well, what does that mean? If I have 2 plus 5, what does that equal? 7. Now, what does 5 plus 2 equal? 7. So you see that 2 plus 5 is the same thing as 5 plus 2? That's commutative. I just commuted it around. Okay? So if I were you to learn these, I'd go home and put them on a note card and have A plus B equals B plus A. And then on the back write commutative property. You have to look at it and know what it is and turn it over to check to see if you're right. Now we have the associative. You can see in commutative we just have two terms, A and B. In associative we have three terms, A, B, and so this can never be this, can it? Okay? The difference here is we've got C. Now look, they have to be in order. A, B, C, A, B, C. The only difference is where the parentheses are. The parentheses here on A and B and here on B and C. So you know it's associative if it's in order with three terms and they're on this and then on the back end. And words for multiplication also. The identity property is when you add to 0, you leave it's the same. So let's say A is 2. What's 2 plus 0? So when you add 0 to whatever you have and it equals whatever you have, then that's called using the identity property. Then we have the multiplicative inverse. On your test, it's going to say, find the multiplicative inverse of 2 over 3. Okay? You just flip it. What is the multiplicative inverse of 2 over 3?
3 over 2.
3 over 2. So you see, for all fractions, A over B, okay, A over B times B over A equals what? 1. So when you have an inverse, the answer equals what? 1. You've already learned the distributive property. Y'all remember that? When I have A times B plus C, I distribute A times B plus A times C. Okay, so if we have 3 times x plus 2, I do 3 times x is what?
3x.
3x plus 3 times 2 is?
6.
So I just distribute it. 3 times x was 3x, 3 times 2 is 6. And the last one's the multiplicative property of equality. If I have A equals B, okay, so let's say A is 2 and B is 2. So 2 equals 2, doesn't it? If AC equals BC, okay, then C equals C, right? So think of a number C could be. Think of any number. 5. So what's 2 times 5? 10. And over here, what's 2 times 5? 10. So if A equals B, then AC equals BC. Okay, now we're going to talk about what these properties mean here in just a second. So on example A, it says find the multiplicative inverse of 2/3. Remember, the multiplicative inverse is just flipped of what you got. What's flipped of 2/3?
3 over 2.
3 over 2. That's your multiplicative inverse. Now the way you check it is to multiply this times this, and if it equals 1, you got it right. What is 3 times 2?
6.
6. And what is 2 times 3?
6.
6 over 6 is?
1.
1. So you got it right, didn't you? So the multiplicative inverse of 2/3 is 3 over 2. Now here it says solve this. Q over 7 equals 6. You remember how to do that? We're dividing 7, so what do? The opposite. Multiply 7 on both sides. So Q is going to equal whatever 6 times 7, which is 42. Now this 7 over 7 is just 1, so it goes away. Okay. So now, which is? 35. So I did 5 times 7 and 5 times what?
8.
So I got plus 40, because 5 times 8 is 40, and I just brought my plus down. 40 plus 35 is? 75. So I distributed. Okay. Now on this one, how do I distribute?
6 times 2.
6 times 2 is
12.
plus,
6 times 4.
which is
24.
12 plus 24 is 36, and that's your answer. Now we need to define what a term is. Let's read what this says. A term is any algebraic expression. Here's some examples. The number 2, that's a term. 3x, that's a term. The number 4xyz, that's a term. 10, that's a term. So let me ask you this. How many terms is this? Christina, how many terms is that?
2.
Yeah, 1, 2. Those are both terms, right? What about this, Christina? How many terms is that?
1. I don't know the stuff.
1, 2. 2 terms. Let me ask y'all this. How many terms is 4xyz? How many terms is that? 1. Because they're all multiplied together. What about this? 4 plus x plus y plus z. Christina, how many terms is that?
4.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 terms. Now, the next thing we're going to define is a like term. Okay? A like term are 2 separate terms with the same variable and the same exponent. For example, 2x and 4x have the same variable, what is it? X, and the same exponent, which is 1. Okay? Since they have the same variable and the same exponent, you can combine them. It's called combining like terms. 2x plus 4x is what? No. 2 plus 4 is 6x. Variable and the same exponent. What's the variable here? Apples to apples. So I can combine it. Now this is the same thing as 2a plus 3a. But instead of writing apples, I just wrote a, right? So what's 2 apples plus 3 apples? 6. It's 5 apples. If I have 2 apples and 3, it's 5, right?
Sir.
Okay, so what if I have 3xy plus 2xy? What's that going to be? Now, hold on, let me ask you a question. Are my variables the same?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Are my exponents the same?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
so I can say 2 plus 3 is 5xy. You are combining like terms. Okay? Now, where they're going to get you, have y'all ever heard people say that's apples and oranges? That means you can't combine it. So let's say we had 6 apples plus 3 oranges. What's that going to be?
6a plus 3o.
Good. You can't say it's 9AO, can you? You can't have 9 apple oranges, can you? No. So this is just going to be 6a plus 3o. You don't do anything to it. Okay? Because they're not like terms. All right, here we have 9ab plus 8ab minus 7ab. All of these are like terms, aren't they? Because the variables are the same. 9 plus 8 is 17ab, and then you have to subtract 7ab, and that equals what? 10ab. That's 5xy, and then you have to subtract an xy from it. So 5xy minus 1xy is 4xy. So on this one, we've got 4k minus 3. Can we combine these? Can we combine these?
No, sir.
No, because they're not like terms. But we can do negative 3 plus 3 is what?
0.
0. And negative 13 plus 3 is what? Negative 10. And I got 4k here, so my answer is 4k minus 10. But you can do it. 5 times x is 5x plus 5 times 2y is 10y plus 6x. Now, what are my like terms up here? 5x and 6x, which is 11x plus 10y, and you're done. This is your answer right here. So today you learned these properties. Let me show you which properties I'm talking about. Today, at the beginning of the class, you learned all these properties: commutative, associative, identity, multiplicative inverse, distributive, and the multiplication property of equality. Okay?